looking to purchase a budget-friendly car, the Kia Picanto most certainly makes the list. It's cute, it's fresh, it's fuel efficient, and for the longest time it is also affordable. But a lot has changed, and it's not just its looks. The Picanto features new headlights, which I quite enjoy on this car, but they also do resemble those found on the Sonnet. They kind of drop down but also pull back like they're a cat eye. I really think it works on this car. It also features a new bumper, a revised fender, as well as a new grille. All in all, I do think the front makes for quite an attractive car, and it also has that I'm cute but I'm also naughty kind of look. I like that. In the rear, the funky design continues with the singular tailpiece that connects your rear lights. I do think it finishes off that modern design quite beautifully. It sort of says, if you thought I looked good from the front, well, I look good from the back too. Let's see how much junk can fit in this trunk. Of course, this is a compact car, so boot space is not going to be that much. As expected, it really is quite minimal. But the good thing is, you actually get extra storage underneath it, so you can actually pack a lot more stuff underneath there. If you need more space, you can always put the rear seats down. As you can see, this is not a car for somebody with a lot of baggage, but if you do have a bundle of joy, good to know that it has ISOFIX anchors in the rear as well. Talk about the seats. Let's jump in. So not much changes inside the cabin of the Picanto. You have a new digital cluster with some cool designs. A multifunctional steering wheel, of course, that will take you to all the features that you would like. And talk about features, you can have all of those on your 8-inch infotainment screen because it is compatible with Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. The graphics are quite good and it's easy to navigate. It also has a USB connection and one C-type connection as well. There isn't much space in this car. You have a bit of room for your change as well as keys and little bits and bobs. But other than that, it really is quite a comfortable cabin to be in. Space is definitely a little bit tight here in the rear. I mean, for me, being a short girl, legroom and headroom is actually all right, but those taller frames that will be jammed here in the back will have a bit of an issue. But hey, hopefully it is a short trip from varsity to the shops and back. So this nifty little car comes in 2 engine options, the 1 liter as well as the 1.2 liter. We're currently in the LX model, which is a 1 liter, and that's powered through a 3-cylinder power plant. It is a 5-speed manual gearbox. I do prefer a manual gearbox in a car that's got a smaller engine because then I can sort of decide when to change my gear for maximum power. Talk about power, the output on this car is 49 kilowatts and 95 newton meters of torque. For more power and torque, you're going to have to go for the 1.2 liter engine that will give you 62 kilowatts and 122 newton meters of torque. Such an enjoyable car. It's fun, it's sizable. Delivery when accelerating on that pedal is quite instant. This is a car that will take you from A to B, and it really does what it needs to do. So market for this car, of course, is for the first-time buyer or somebody looking to downgrade, senior citizens, students, somebody who's really looking for something that's fuel efficient and really will not cost them an arm and leg to maintain, especially with petrol prices on the rise. This has been giving me 4.6 to 5 liters per 100 kilometer, and that's what makes you appreciate cars like this because they're made with that in mind. fuel efficiency at the top. We also need to keep in mind that budget cars are bought because they are within the budget or are reasonably priced. It does feel like you're somewhat in the premium end of the budget cars, especially when I'm comparing to some of its competitors. The Kia Picanto, however, is priced at a starting price of 260K. There's really no denying that the Kia, is a head turner. It's so cute, it's beautifully styled, it's modern, it has all these standard features that you'd want in a budget car and a little bit extra. It really is such a good car. Welcome back to Ignition GT. Before the break, I got better acquainted with the refreshed Picanto, but now it's time to find out what Mpho and Kumbi think of Kia's new entry-level offering. Gents, you guys attended the launch.
Yes,
how was it? Let me first start, as you saw, the Picanto is a car that is actually quite popular in South Africa. And seeing the update, what were your thoughts, Kumbi?
This crawled so that the likes of the Espressos, Quids can run right now. Right, this is the godfather, if you can put it in terms of those cars. And it does look good right now. I like the entire light bar running on the front face here, as well as the back. Even interior still looking good, but for me, we all know what I'm going to say.
The big elephant.
260,000 Rand starting price.
And look, I think for the same amount of money, you could probably get into a very decent Suzuki Swift, or even a GLX model for that matter, or even an entry-level Baleno.
Correct.
And if we're talking about the top-of-the-range Picanto, then you're looking at a Baleno that is very well-spec'd, which is much bigger, has a bigger boot, a bit more equipment as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the Picanto starts to fall a bit shy in terms of its pricing. They don't even bring the GT line model anymore because it would be so expensive.
Right.
So yeah, while, as Kumbi said, I'd like to echo that it's a really great package, just not for the money.
I think, it does have its own market, right? There are people who would always opt for that Picanto. And what was actually interesting for us is that Kia said that the age range in terms of people who are buying Kia Picantos are essentially between, I think, 30s or something like that.
30s and upwards.
30s and upwards, which was like such a, wait, what? I thought it was the younger people who are actually buying the cars, but it's not.
And one of the bigger percentages was also older people who are sort of in retirement and looking to buy down, looking for something easy to run, low maintenance.
Correct.
So it's quite interesting seeing those demographics coming into play.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about the engine options. We've got the 1 liter and 1.2.
Correct.
How did that perform? Let's start, with...
So down in the Western Cape, it performed relatively well. I think it's got enough power and torque for the size that it is, and especially looking at the application that you'll be using it in town, in urban areas, it fits. The engine and gearbox transmission pairing are perfect.
Perfect. Yeah. There isn't really, you're not going to be expecting a lot of power from that. So for what it is and what it does, the engines are perfect, the transmission is perfect. There isn't really nothing you can complain about. I think it has one of the best transmissions and engine in the lineup. You're driving for free in a Picanto. You're driving.
I think I've got about 4.6 to 5 liters on that car, which is amazing.
As well is something people in this price range will be looking at, and you'll be happy to know that it offers really, really good numbers.
Do you think people will shy away and obviously go for what Mpho said, the alternatives, which are cheaper, of course. Also Kia does come with a lot of standard features.
Correct.
So what do you see the market doing?
To be honest with you, I think that it should do well. It's a Picanto. It's bound to do well.
It's always done well.
Always done well. So I don't see Kia being, afraid that it's not going to do well. They wouldn't have brought it if it wasn't going to do well. So they do know it's going to do well. And right now they're so SUV dominated in terms of their lineup. So this is that's just sticking there on its own right now. If you think about it, it's literally the Picanto. The rest of their lineup is SUVs now. So I think it's bound to do well. For me, pricing, like we mentioned, I think it just comes back to the point where you are saying that, they know the demographic that they're assigning this car to. Yes. So it's not really about, that demographic is not going to be like, no, I want more space, I want whatever it is. They know what they're getting. I think it's going to do fine.
It's going to do fine. We shouldn't even worry about it. It's fine.